Because, maybe somebody got my phone number or something. I have no
Somebody
idea.
got your credit card.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to begin. Before we start the meeting, can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge of
Allegiance to
Allegiance.
the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. I want to welcome you here to our first full meeting of the new year. 2 weeks ago, we had our work session, but this is the first full meeting of the year, and thank you all for coming. Please silence your cell phones if you haven't done so already. Reminds me. Okay, King, you want to start us off, please?
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. The Village Hall is undergoing quite a change. Besides the new shingling, everyone's been calling that place the Lyman Beecher House. Well, that's not true. Roxana Beecher lived in that house, and she had more to do with the history of that house than Lyman Beecher. And keeping with that, once the hammering stops, we're going to be moving an embroidery piece done by Sarah Isaacs Payne, the sister of John Howard Payne, that was done in Village Hall when Roxana Beecher had her school there, okay? Then we're going to take the photo of Lyman Beecher that's over top of the chair, and we're going to put that on the door to his office, which is when you come in the front door, the first door on the right, that was the door into Lyman Beecher's office. So we're going to put his portrait or his photograph there, where Kent and Robert are writing summonses, not sermons, okay? Then we're going to take the bill of sale from Eli Hutchinson to Lyman Beecher. That is also hanging over the chair, and we're going to put that upstairs in between the village administrator's office and the village mayor's office, okay? And there'll be a little, what's the word I'm thinking of? A little something about each one of them so you can read. It's not just not going to be there, okay? So, now next, January 31st is the first lecture of the East Hampton Historical Society for the year. The Dog and Pony Show, that's Hugh King and Ken Cullum, will be presenting a lecture called Death on the Beach, where everybody dies, except for one person. And you have to remember that one person when you come to the lecture. And then the lecture series. This is the 100th anniversary of the founding of the village. So there'll be 4 lectures on village history this year that will be done at the East Hampton Library, okay? One of them, of course, will be Cornelia Huntington, a poet, a novelist who captured the essence of a life in the Victorian village, Barbara Borsak and Hilary Osborne Malicki. John Howard Payne, a celebrated life long forgotten. Nathaniel Dominy, saving a master craftsman's environment, Robert Hefner. And Reverend Lyman Beecher, controversy was his companion. We don't have a schedule for those yet, but they will be done at the library. That's all I got.
Thank you, Hugh. Richard. Okay, so we're going to go out of order a little bit today. We're going to address 2 appointments first, then we'll have our public hearing, and then we'll address the rest of the resolutions. So Rose, could you read the first resolution, please?
The first resolution, to adopt resolution number 2-2020, hereby appointing Richard T. Lawler as mayor, effective immediately at the annual salary of $26,000.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
None, so
None,
carried.
so carried. Are you?
I'm recusing myself from this.
Okay, I have one comment, too, before we go further about the appointment of mayor. And it's certainly a decision that we all thought really long and hard about. And I think in the end, we all agreed that since Rick was serving as deputy mayor, that it would be the natural progression for him to step in as mayor at this time. And it is in no way a reflection of any of our ability to do the job, as I think we are all capable but we are in good hands with Rick. And going forward, I think the village residents should just be assured that we will work hard on their behalf and in their best interest.
Thank you, Rose.
You're welcome.
So next is to adopt Resolution Number 3-2020, hereby appointing Barbara S. Borzak as deputy mayor, effective immediately at the annual salary of $16,500.
So moved.
Second?
All opposed, excuse me, all for?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And I'll recuse myself.
Okay. None, so carried. Okay, so next we have our public hearing for stop signs proposed on James Lane at the intersection of Mill Road. June, would you please read the proposed amendment?
Introductory number 12, 2019. Proposed amendment to Chapter 267-9, Vehicles and Traffic Stop Streets to add stops on James Lane at the intersections with Mill Road.
Would anyone like to address the board regarding this hearing? Anybody that would like to address the board on any other issue will be given that opportunity at the end of the meeting. Anybody? Any member of the board?
I still
ahead.
maintain my position that we discussed about in the work session about the option of making Mill Road one-way, headed westbound, for the reasons that I mentioned then as well. I think that it could accomplish much more than just erecting the stop signs on James Lane. It would completely eliminate the line of sight issue because the traffic is going to be headed from Mill Road to Main Street, Route 27. And it's a narrow road, Mill Road, we all know that. It's very difficult for two cars to pass. It could be seen as dangerous, especially when you come to the intersection at Main Street and Mill Road. It's hard to make that left turn and so forth. So I think a lot could be accomplished. And I know we heard from the police department, they did some stats for us, and there were a couple of accidents on Main Street when you make that left turn onto Mill Road. I think there maybe are a lot of near misses, you know, and so not actual accidents, but and I know that people were concerned about the speed on Mill Road, and they thought that the stop signs could, obviously you come to a cessation of stop, but I'm not sure after that meeting. I think the captain said he was going to be doing some more speed enforcement on that road. I don't know what the results are from that, but overall, I think that from the big picture, and Drew Bennett mentioned as well, it's also a viable option that the one-way could solve a lot of our problems. So.
Okay, thank you, Rose. I'm getting the message that some of you can't hear us out there. Is that true? LTV, if you're listening in the back, maybe you can make an adjustment. We'll just have to speak a little bit louder, I guess. Okay, thank you, Rose. I don't know if...
I'd like to also
Okay,
address
go ahead.
that point.
ahead.
I am largely agree with Rose that a one-way street would probably be better, but I think that making small changes allows the population to adapt better, and we can see how this works out.
Right. That's the way I feel as well.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
I think this is the first step, and it is, as she said, there's an option. We can always go the next step. So let's see how this works and
Yeah.
go from there.
Okay. Just to bring everybody up to speed on this, if you recall, we had a discussion about this, I believe it was our work session in December. And our engineer, Drew Bennett, was here, and he made an argument for both cases, the stop signs or the one-way street. After some discussion then, I had the police department look into the amount of accidents at that location. And as I recall, there were 3 at the intersection of James Lane and Mill Road, only one of which could be attributable to line of sight. That was 3 in the last 6 years. We then went a little bit further and looked into the number of accidents at Mill Road and 27, and there were 5, well, actually, they had given me 6, but when we looked at it a little bit closer, one of those accidents was actually the one that occurred at the other intersection, one of those 3 that had occurred at the other intersection. So there were really 5 minor accidents at Mill Road and 27 in the last 10 years. So after a discussion, I think it was kind of felt from the board, let's try the stop signs, because I don't know if you recall, but there were some people that stood up and objected to speed on James Lane, and we thought that the 2 stop signs at that intersection might also help with speed at that intersection. And I can tell you that since that meeting, the police department has been enforcing speed there. There were approximately 10 stops made regarding that. 7 of them were issued warnings, 3 summonses were issued. So I think we're making progress in that area, and I think that this is a first step with the stop signs. We get those up, and then we can evaluate further from there whether or not we need to address Mill Road as one-way. Our concern at that last meeting was that if we made Mill Road one-way from James Lane to Main Street, it might interfere with the traffic flow southbound on Main Street at the light at Woods Lane. You all know that in the summertime, that backs up dramatically when you get a lot of cars that are in the lane going straight to the beach. It backs up past the right turn lane, and then that forces traffic back as far as the library. I've seen it, and then people start to go up Mill Road, Meadow Way, to get around that traffic jam. So I'm just concerned that making Mill Road one-way at this point from James Lane to Main Street would prohibit that left-hand turn, and thereby maybe create a bigger problem. So I would like to see us start with the stop signs, evaluate that, and then go from there. Is everybody
I
in
agree.
agreement? Okay. Anybody else like to address the board? Okay. A motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried. Let's see, next. Rose, could you start with the resolutions, please?
Yes. Approve claim vouchers for the month of January.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None? Passed and carried.
Approve warrants number 30, number 32, 33, General Fund, number 29, Trust Fund, number 31, LoSAP Fund, and number 34, Capital Fund.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None so carried.
Approve departmental reports.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None so carried.
Approve budget transfer schedule number 1, reference number 4, dated January 14th, 2020.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None so carried.
Approve minutes from meetings held on November 7th and November 15th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None, opposed? None, so carried.
Adopt resolution number 4, 2020, to publish notice designating offices to be filled and terms thereof for the June 16th, 2020 village election.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None, so carried.
Adopt resolution number 5, 2020, hereby adopting the 2020-25 capital plan.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None, so carried.
And I'll just note as well for the public that the only change from the draft to this plan is the addition of Herrick Park in the fiscal year 2021-22 and 2023-24.
Thank you. Next.
Next is to approve the February 1st, 2020 through January 31, 2021 contract with Johnson Electrical Construction Corporation for traffic signal maintenance at the monthly cost of $550 plus $5.50 per bulb.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None, so carried.
Next is to adopt introductory number 12, 2019 as local law 1, 2020, hereby amending Chapter 267-9, Vehicles and Traffic, Stop Signs, to add stops on James Lane at the intersection with Mill Road.
So moved.
I'm opposed.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm
Opposed? Okay, so 3 in favor, 1 opposed, passed and carried.
Next is approve an agreement between the East Hampton Union Free School District and the Village of East Hampton for the placement of 2 school resource officers within the school district.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None so carried.
Next is to accept Alltech's amended price quote of $16,708.16 for service work to be performed on the Department of Public Works 2000 International Aerial Truck. The estimated cost of $15,052.65 was approved at the December 20th meeting, and this is in reference to a November 25th memo from David Collins.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None so carried.
And to accept the resignations from part-time paramedics Benjamin Dahl and part-time critical care EMT Corin Oley, effective January 13th, 2020, in reference to a January 13th memo from Chief Tracy.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None so carried. Next is to accept Andrew F. Bennett Jr. as new member of the Fire Department Engine Company Number 2, referred to memo from Chief Terza dated January 14th, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None so carried. Next is to approve Whitmore's $10,400 proposal dated January 10th, 2020, to perform tree removal, referred to January 13th, 2020 memo from DPW Superintendent David Collins.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None so carried. Next is to notice the bidders for the lease of Sea Spray Cottage Number 8, with the bid opening to be held Tuesday, February 11th, 2020, at 2 p.m. at Village Hall.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None so carried. Next is to notice the bidders for an annual sidewalk contract, with the bid opening to be held Tuesday, February 11th, 2020, at 2 p.m. at Village Hall.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None so carried. Then we have two addendums. First is to accept Richard Roberts' resignation as chairman of the Ethics Board, effective December 31st, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None so carried. Last is to appoint Frank Newbold as chairman of the Ethics Board, effective immediately, to fill unexpired term of Richard Roberts.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None so carried. That concludes our resolution business for this meeting. Is there anyone that would like to address the board? Any board member? Okay, so then that concludes our business portion of this meeting. We will go into executive session for litigation and real estate. If there's any reason to come back out, we'll notify the media and reconvene our meeting. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you for coming.
Congratulations.